Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Hearthcenter, your show bringing you the results of the last week of regular THL season. I am Lotus Knight, one of your hosts for tonight, and I am joined by the best cast THL has to offer. I have to my top left here. He's been with me a lot of shows this season, doing an amazing job in THL. Has won MVP. I don't even know how many times now. Taking a break season in Hero Series, we have the one and only Neji Boston here. Neji, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to get the Hero MVP this season.
Nice. How are things going over there? Are you excited to talk about playoffs?
I'm very excited. Yes.
Our second guest here, he's been in the show a few times this season and in other moments. His favorite card, I didn't do one for Neji, but I will do one for this player. His favorite card, as everyone knows, is Kazaku-san. We have Nails. Welcome, Nails.
That is my favorite card. Like completely unironically, I just finished up my ladder call for the month with it. Absolutely nutty card. Love Team Five. Great job, guys. Like uh, completely no faults to the card.
It's
Maybe it
so
should
much
cost 7.
fun. Thank you for being here, though.
Oh, it's a pleasure, of course.
Um, Now, on our top right corner now, we have directly from NPH land, the one and only Agent PWE who told me right before the show that his favorite card is actually palm reading.
Hey, priest card. It's funny, but I'll pretend you didn't say that. Uh, yeah, I'm glad to be here. Haven't been around in a while. Looking forward to looking at the important matches now. Now that playoffs are going to be underway here.
Nice. Yeah. It's always great having you. And last but not least, I'm not actually sure if he's been to Hearth Center before. We've been in many shows together before, but I don't think he's been in Hearth Center. We have the one and only Dar Dar Binks, whose favorite card, as obviously everyone knows, is actually the Libram of Wisdom.
Mm, almost had it. It's Bunker Sergeant.
Huh,
Close.
that's
Close.
close. It's a good
If
card.
Lotus got one wrong, is that the first time in the history of the show?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because agents was right. So yeah, I think so. But the first time guest. So it's just the way it goes. Firsts everywhere. I'm happy. I'm happy to be creating content as a local content creator with my fellow content creators.
Nice. It's always great having you, and we have quite a ton to talk about tonight, so I'm going to keep us moving. We're going to start by going over the players of the week. Then we're going to do a quick hop on to see what happened yesterday in Maniac Monday, which I'm sure someone here might have a bit to tell us about, especially about a certain jar card that happened. And this is not Yu-Gi-Oh! This is actually Hearthstone. Um, Now, after that, we're going to hop into Hero, Legacy, and Pro to see which teams made playoffs. And then we're going directly, well, during that, we're going to pay PR, and then we're going to check out as usual. So to begin, we have our players of the week. We're going to start with our hero player of the week. To tell us who's our hero player of the week, Nails, take us in.
So for our Hero Player of the Week, we've got Super Buckles. After only picking up the game 2 months ago, it's been a steep learning curve for Super Buckles in THL, but he ends the regular season with his first THL win over THL veteran Jim Thelos. Congrats on the win, Super Buckles, and I hope you had a good season and have many more.
Nice. Congratulations, Super Buckles, on quite the win. Jim
Yeah, Jim's
Philo,
no slouch.
no, definitely not. Strong 5 seed and important win. Now, to tell us about our legacy player of the week, we have Agent PWE. Oh, we can't hear you right now. Agent, can you hear us?
Hello.
Okay.
Am I okay? Okay. I was definitely not talking. Okay. Okay. So the legacy player of the week. Raptor Illidan's Death Knights needed a strong week against the conference frontrunners of Clownstone Academy in order to push for their playoff spot. And the match came down to the 3 seed contest between Raptor and then the previously undefeated Diamond. Previously, because Raptor came in and took down the crossover player contender, putting up a 3-1 score to give his team the win for the week and push them into the postseason playoffs. Well done.
Nice. Now, our final pro player of the week is going to be read by Dardar Banks.
Alrighty. So in pro, the Taggers needed a pretty huge week against APM to pass them for the last playoff slot in the Black Conference. And let me tell you, the Wild Gamers did not tread lightly. They've swept through APM and they put up a 20-8 score to push their way into the postseason, led by Captain Seth's 3-1 Player of the Week winning performance win over Reverb. How's that for some copium?
Nice. Congratulations, Seth, on making it. I mean, this was not a definitely not an easy week, especially with everyone trying their best to make playoffs. So, congratulations to all these players making players of the week. We're going to hop right into Maniac Mondays. So, yesterday Maniac Mondays tournament was as everyone knows, it was a Nosdormu best of 5 standard tournament. And we have the winner here tonight, who played amazing yesterday. Also, congratulations on Ariana20 for being really good at aggro druid, especially Nas aggro druid with Drekthar. I want to ask Nails, do you have any highlights, anything you want to share about your win last night? Nails? Oh, we can't hear you right now.
Oh, I was saying great things. I'll say them again.
Sure?
Yeah, so the highlight of the match was, or the highlight of the tournament was, honestly Pee Wee's match versus Ariana, where she played active Drekthar 2 games in a row against Pee Wee, notably in a Nas Dormu format, which required her to draw the Nas first. And it was like on turn 4 in one game and turn 5 or 4 in the other game. Like this is just an on curve Drekthar.
Yeah.
Like a massive player differential there. And that was easily the highlight of the tournament. My games were also pretty good. Like, but that one really stands out to me.
I do really recommend watching the first game of Nails' series. There might have been some Kazakhstan insanity that was so good.
The Kazakhstan game in the finals was actually quite a good watch. Um, there was a board of 7 King Crushes that made random legendaries, all made within the 15 seconds of the turn. Like, um,
Yeah.
it was a real good time. I would check that out for sure.
Oh yeah. Um, that said, I think that is it for us in terms of Hero or in terms of Maniac Mondays. So I want to one more time congratulate Nails and Ariana20. I actually don't know if we have Maniac Mondays next week or the week after, but one of the two you can post on the channel if you would like to know. But it is going to be a wild tournament. And with that said, why don't we hop right into our first match in Hero Series? So to start in Hero Series, Nails himself is going to talk to us about at Diamond facing the unknown.
So yeah, at Diamond have been in a pretty good position for playoffs, and they once again uh, took it to the unknown, who are, I'm gonna assume, in the playoffs themselves. I don't have the standings open, but um, with a 6-3 record, surely they're are making it. But yeah, taking all but one game win possible, like available to them, um, is a massive performance in the matchup of two top teams. So
Mhm.
they finished ahead of the unknown, always just in time. Took a 3-0 sweep over Bach for Life. Uh, Turtle 3-1 to Chewy. Wild 9 3-1 to Magnificent. Diamond dropped the his series against Thalfix, which notably was the decider for crossover as well. Um,
Oh,
and Super Buckles took the 3-0 that we already mentioned and earned
yeah.
Player of the Week with a victory over Jim Phillips. Um,
Just
I don't know if we're going to go into crossover more later, but
um
the race came down to the wire.
oh, we can talk about it. I don't have any graphics set up because there wasn't enough time, but we can talk about
Yeah.
it later if we
Um,
want.
sure.
So really, really close, or not really, really close, really, really strong showing by a Diamond to Diamond, just putting them quite well as playoffs arrive very soon after. I want to ask Neji here. Do you have any comments about this match? A Diamond to Diamond versus the Unknown.
Um, Not much that Nails hasn't already said. I mean, Unknown was already in a playoff spot, so they didn't actually need this win. It wasn't that important. I don't think it was for Diamond either. I think they were already locked as well. So, um, just a nice confidence booster for the team, getting a massive win over a playoff team, and then again, congrats to Super Buckles on their first win of the season.
True. So I will keep us moving to our next match. The next game we're going to talk is the Golden Wisps versus APM Yin. And to tell us about this game, we have Dar Dar Banks.
Yeah, so for Golden Wisps versus APM Yin, this was kind of like a playoffs teaser warm up sort of match. It's a match between two teams that are in playoffs, right?
Yes.
And pretty well matched, honestly. Split down pretty evenly based on kind of seedings. It's kind of determined which team ended up winning the match. Um, Aquaman, Earl, and Mick took three relatively decisive victories in the 1 through 3 seeds against J Rich, Venus Pumoni, and JR Juggerlaw. And then in the 4 and 5 seeds, Trado 2 and Snipe Hunter won 3-2 and 3-0 respectively to get points back for APM Yin. And it ended up being relatively polarized, right? Three sweeps, but a pretty close game overall.
Mm-hmm.
14 to 9. Uh, Honestly, you know, really interesting match probably in the five between two
For
players
sure.
that were 8-0 and 7-1 going into it by the looks of it. Aquaman going to 8-1 on the season. This is, good performances by good players, you know. It certainly seems like this is just a really kind of like playoff quality match before the playoffs start, and that's kind of nice to have, I think, if you're a competitor like the week before. So definitely an interesting game. Excited to see how playoff runs go for them. Not much else to add. Good luck to them as they make their runs.
That's awesome. No, some good points over there. This was really a free playoff match that has a good chance of just happening again. Um, PWE, any comments on this match?
Yeah, this match looked like it was just for fun. The purple conference, I think this is. I don't,
Yes.
they're the yes purple. The top four are very much top four, and the bottom four, or however many, are not very close. So they kind of just got to do whatever they wanted and not really worry about it. I guess the seeding kind of matters, but Golden Wisp was so far ahead, and they were able to stay.
Sure.
undefeated, so that was pretty impressive.
Mhm. True. It's good when, especially in a week like this one, where you had to, you were basically facing a new meta when you don't actually have to compete and you just need to accumulate some points if you would like and just chill for next week where it really matters. So let's hop into the final match that we have to talk about for Hero Series, unless someone has another comment they want to make about Golden Wisps versus APM Yin.
Congrats to Golden Wisps on the undefeated season. It's not
Oh, definitely not.
easy, and yeah, good job, you guys. So, keep it up in playoffs.
For sure. Now, to tell us about our final hero match, BW, why don't you tell us what happened to NPH as facing APM Yang?
So for NPH versus APM Yang, NPH had already pretty much solidified the 1 seed. Maybe if we got like no points and like the team in second got all the points, I'm not really sure even then. But it was basically, can APM Yang get enough points on us so that they can get the 4th spot in playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being a narrow victory for NPH, 13-12. Rusinho, who was subbing for me, got the win over Genji. Your mom kids 3-2 over Jammies, going for the 8-1. Skittles losing to KSW 1-3. Pasca, who it says he's a sub this week. I think he's getting subbed out for playoffs since he'll be quite busy. But who's on a
Mm-hmm.
heater at 8-1 right now. 3-1's Nomad Farmer, and then Clarity getting swept by Wayfair. So it was important, even though APM Yang lost, they got like just enough points so that they could secure that 4th place in the standings. And it looks like very close when we take a look at the Teal conference. It was a very tight race at the end.
Yeah, it was such a tight race. Before we hop into to talk about how the race happened and what happened these last few days, I want to ask for a second opinion about this game. Neji, any thoughts you want to share about Nopros here versus APM Yang?
Yeah, really close match. Rocinho coming in, subbing in for Pee Wee, getting a win is pretty big. Also losing Pasca now for the playoffs is pretty unfortunate, especially because he was 8-1 this season. I'm not sure who is the perma sub, but I'm sure Pee Wee knows, and I guess we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, APM Yang getting just enough points, as we said, to scrape by into playoffs. So we'll see if they can pick up some more points in the next week and move on through playoffs.
Sure. Let's take a look at what is actually the picture looking now that we finished this match. So to tell us what things look like in Teal Conference, we have Dardar Banks.
Yeah, so uh Agent PUE kind of alluded to this, that NPH was effectively a comfy 1 seed. It ended up being that make a 5 seed out of a molehill and the unknown were racing for the 2. And then it was, by the looks of it, a 4-way race for 4th.
Yes.
And we did mention it, APM Yang pulling out 12 points, even though it was a loss. 12 points was enough to get them in as the 4 seed, taking it over Korak City, Booty Bay Yacht Club, and Hordy on Main in pretty close battle for the 4th slot here.
Is that a four
So
point difference between all the teams?
it sure looks like it. So this was, this is one match. This is one game 5. If your team's 5-6, maybe with a tiebreaker, it's like it's splitting hairs. It was a
Wow.
tight race.
Wow. And taking a look at purple here, Neji, why don't you tell us what actually happened in purple?
Yeah, Golden Wisps have been dominating purple the entire season. They finished 9-0. At Diamond, and APN Yin were locked for playoffs as well going into the week. And F2L Black just needed to score enough points, which they did. Nice Jewish Owl came in and got a win in the 1 seed, which has not happened the whole season, which was
Nice.
good. But yeah, I'd say unless F2O Black like super inted the week, it was probably a pretty likely outcome here. But yeah, we got Golden Wisps at Diamond, APN Yin, and F2O Black in the playoffs from Purple Conference.
Super
Nice.
inting from F12 Black. No shot, right?
I mean, no, there's an 0-8 player. I don't know who could possibly do that poorly, but you know,
Fair.
Mid playoffs, anyways.
true.
True. And
Just
speaking of,
holding back strats for the important part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can win the next 3 weeks, that's good enough, right?
True.
So let's take a look at what playoffs look like. So we have the Golden Wisps facing. I don't actually know which one is Yin, which one is Yang. So if someone knows, please let me know. I'll call APM 1.
Yang.
The white one is Yin, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
Wisps are facing Yang.
Oh,
Yeah, Wisps
well,
are
there you
against
go.
Yang,
Black
and
one
then
is Yin. There you go.
Okay.
yeah,
So we have the Golden Wisps facing APM Yang. Um, the Unknown facing APM Yin. NPH facing F12 Black, and a Diamond and Diamond facing make a 5 seed out of a Mohole. Um, really good matches. I'm not going to ask you all for results for each of them, but I will ask for which team do you expect to win? Hero. And to start with someone who I'm pretty sure is never biased, Neji, who do you think wins Hero?
Definitely F2O Black is winning Hero. They have a cracked 1 seed, so that's really all you need to know.
Fair.
Wait, did you drop to the 2?
Yeah, I wish. It was close, actually. Rebob's PR, if he won last week, I think he might have passed me.
Wow.
He is pretty cracked this season.
Yeah. Nails, who do you think wins Hero?
It's got to be Golden Wisps. They've just been dominating everything.
True.
The other teams are solid too, but it's been
They had
they've
such a
just been
broken
so good.
season. Dardar, any thoughts on who wins Hero?
uh, well, I was gonna say F2L, but then I heard that Neji's subbing back in, right? Or he's playing again.
He is playing.
So actually, yeah, no, it's doomed. I'll go for the winner between at Diamond, and make a 5 seed. I can't tell you who will win that, but whoever wins that wins type deal. So
Sure.
it's kind of a cop out that it's 2 teams, but whoever advances from that bottom right portion of the bracket, I'll bet on that. Completely unbiased opinion.
Nice. And Agent PW, who do you think wins Hero?
Well, normally I'd say NPH, but we kinda are losing Pasca, and he's like been
Ooh,
hard carrying us somewhat. So I'd have to pick the Golden Wisps, the team that we would have beaten in the finals with Pasca, because they're kinda haven't lost yet.
there's a lot to watch, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about at least one shocking elimination next week. So tune in for that. But we do have the final Hero PPR of the season. These are the final numbers that Marty's algorithm has spit out for us. And to tell us what they are, we have Agent PWE going over Hero PPR.
All right. So in 15th or honorable mention or however it's appearing on the screen is Trito 2 at 6-3. Then we have MPV at 6-3, Wild 9 at 6-3, Diamond at 6-2, and Skirt Reynolds at 6-3 with an PAR of 6.37571961. And then going into the top 10, starting from the bottom, we have Always Lethal at 6-1 with an 18-11 game score. Snipe Hunter 8-1 with 26-11. Mako at 7-2 with the 24-11. Lupin 8-1 at 24-8. Dalfix at 7-2 with 23-15. Rebob at 7-2 with 24-11. Aqua at 8-1, 25-13. Pasca 8-1 at 25-12. Turtle somehow played 10 games in a 9-week season. I can't explain that one, but he's 27-16 and in second. And then leading the way is your mum Ked 8-1 with 26-13.
Nice.
Very impressive scores. Lots of eight and X players on the top there.
Turtles is probably the most impressive, playing 10 weeks in a season.
He played his
Not a
first
feat
season
that
of
anyone
playoffs
else in the
early.
top 15 accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really impressive. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's also pretty cool to win 8 of them, but
Yes, I would agree with that. I wish I had won 8 games this season, but don't always get what we want.
I wish I'd won one.
Fair.
Can't always get what we want.
you got an 8 where it counts on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
Any final comments before we move into Legacy series? All right, so we're going to hop into Legacy Gold, and we're going to go over our first match. To talk about the first match in Legacy Gold, we have Neji Boston telling us about his team Clownstone Academy facing Illidan's Death Knights.
Yeah, Illidan's Death Knights came in and took us down 14-10. Lotus Knight graciously subbed in for me and got a win 3-2 over Earl. JR Juggerlaw swept base. Raptor 3-1 over Diamond, giving Diamond his first loss. Jispine 3-1 over Corden. And Dr. Fish with a 3-0 over Mighty Biz. This is a pretty big match. IDK needed a lot of points to get into playoffs, and they're against one of the top teams. And they did just that. They got just enough points. I think they made it in by like 4 points. So congrats to them on taking down Clownstone Academy and getting a slot in the playoffs.
Yeah, this was really important for IDK because they were the team that was right on the border for this conference. PWE, any thoughts about Clownstone Academy versus IDK? Oh, you're on mute.
No comment then. Okay. No, I have comments again now. Am I able to be heard?
Yes.
We can
Yes.
hear
Yes.
you now.
Okay, great. Okay. So, Gold Conference, that was the team I was on, was also in the Gold Conference, and so these are the two of the teams that top four to get out, and I can only assume that we lost to both of them, considering we lost a lot. So,
Fair.
not surprised that they both made top four. Their record don't have. Okay, well, I was gonna say they don't have an 0-8 player on in their one seed, but there might be some room to argue on some of it. But I mean, regardless, congrats. I think that IDK like pulled off what they needed to. Like even if we won the week, they might have gotten enough points where it wouldn't have mattered. So pretty impressive there.
Um, so I will keep us moving to our second match since we have so much to talk about. We have Defias facing Fish. And to tell us about this one, we have Dardar Banks. Dardar.
Yeah. So a match that ends up being important to playoff hopes, I imagine, given what I see of the standings for the conference. A tight win for Defias over Fish, 15-11, and we got there by effectively the strength of the middle seeds for Defias. So Wild 9 took 2 points, but ended up losing to Izot in the one. But Classy Thug, Neb Canuck, and Comp came through in the 2, 3, and 4 with 3-0, 3-1, and 3-2 wins respectively to deliver the bulk of the points for Defias. And Two Fly finished. I imagine Fish didn't make playoffs. I'm going to take a quick look. I think not, but finished a really strong regular season regardless at 7-2 with a 3-1 win over Azima or Azima. Apologies, but a pretty good win for Defias. Nice 18-point week in what you imagine is going to be kind of a pretty competitive setting right before playoffs, in the sense that there's stuff to play for.
True.
So pretty good wins, pretty good sort of little prep for playoffs by having no like vacation week. You're kind of just you're never really taking the pedal off. You're still going and straight into playoffs. So yeah, not much else to add. Neb Canuck, great regular season, 8-1. Good luck. Hope it finishes. There's 12, right? So four more weeks it could be.
Yes.
So 12-1 you can finish. Hope that happens. That would be pretty sick.
Nice.
But yeah, not much else to add.
Nice. Nails, anything you wanna add about Defias facing?
Um, I mean, Fish fighting for their playoff lives. They with IDK, they started. It looks like they started the week. Um, they would have been 1 point behind IDK,
Yes.
and they, uh, they couldn't keep pace.
Mm-hmm.
Like both of them are playing top teams in Gold Conference, and so um, I guess that's just the way it breaks sometimes.
True. I really like seeing the curse that happens a lot in Legacy and Hero not happen again, which is the team that makes playoffs in Legacy or Hero or the team that wins in a season just completely crumbles the next one. That has happened way too many times, and it's nice not to see that happen to Defias.
Yeah, like a pretty different look coming back from their team last season, but um,
Mhm.
they've seemed to have just reloaded. So
Mhm.
good luck in playoffs.
Now, taking a look at the gold playoff picture, Peter, we just give us a quick summary of what happened in gold at the end.
All right, so gold leading the way. We have the Clownstone Academy, and then close behind is Pod People. And then for the third spot, Defias, also not too far behind. And then it was really just like a 3 or 4 way race for the last spot. And IDK ended up being the one to pull it out with Fish, uh, the golden or the late showers, and the stubs all barely missing out. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty much it.
Nice. Now that's a good way to put it. Just really strong showing by quite a few of the teams. This was a pretty stacked conference, although after what we saw of gold last season, I don't know if we can say the same.
Too
Everyone,
stacked for us, for sure.
true?
I mean, we just couldn't keep pace in multiple ways.
He's not wrong.
Case is taking next season off of Legacy, so we're not keeping him. Case is one of the players on our team.
Yeah. So,
I thought I had to explain the joke because no one was howling with laughter. Oh, there we go. Okay, we
hmm.
got there. We got there.
I'm always laughing on the inside, even if I don't externalize it. It's because you can't see my cam.
Unlucky on that one. Well, you have a cam.
I do. It's not connected, but I do.
Oh,
Um. So as for now, I will bring us to Red Conference, so we end before 3 a.m. my time. So let's take a look at what happened in Red Conference with our first match, Chaos Theory versus Everyone's a Winner, and Agent PW would tell us what happened there. Agent, I don't know if you're talking or on mute, so.
I am talking as usual. As usual, the ping is at 5,000, so I can't be heard.
Oh,
But
sorry.
no, it's not. It's my internet problem. It's a classic.
Hmm.
But Chaos Theory and Everyone's a Winner. If you look at their total scores, Chaos Theory has 124, and Everyone's a Winner has 123. And then if you look at when we go over the Red Conference final standings, you'll notice how conveniently one of them is in fourth and the other one is in fifth. And that so this was a very important match that they played out. Even though everyone's a winner, won 14-12, they're still a point behind, and so they needed to win a little bit harder. Like if they, I would say they could have denied more points from Chaos Theory, but like their two wins were sweeps for everyone's a winner, so that would have been difficult. Other than just winning, but but
Everyone
yeah,
was a winner, even Chaos Theory,
yeah, exactly,
True.
except for
exactly.
lawful dogging Kodomora, I guess.
A very close week, just barely
Yeah.
not good enough for everyone's a winner, unfortunately.
It's so crazy to me how close this was. This was a win the other way around. So you lost more matches, but you still won, and you almost got there. You were literally one game away. This is so crazy. So I want to ask for this match, Dardar, any comments about Chaos Theory versus Everyone's a Winner?
Not much to add. Good job by Agent PW to kind of explain sort of I guess not necessarily the intensity of the situation, but I guess the gravity of just how close this ended up being. That was really well done. Not much else to add. Excited to see a playoff run. Those are always fun. Good luck to the team. Not much else to add.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to see for sure. And taking a look at the other match that we had in Red Conference, we had F12 White versus Dead Legend. And to talk about it, we have Nails.
Yeah, so coming into this, FTL White was like a position pretty well in the conference, looking to secure seeding for the playoffs, while Dead Legend was in the thick of the playoff race.
Mm-hmm.
And Dead Legend ended up falling, just what was it, a couple points short. Um, uh, Rebob took a 3-1 win over Zabe. And Desharmo 3-2'd Myanodon. Slod 3-1 Yellow Dart. And Fall won 3-1 over Skittles. And Tonino's Pizza took it 3-2 over CVG Haster. But yeah, big playoff implications in this one. Bad Legend missed by 3 points, and so have to be kicking themselves over uh, dropping the set
For sure.
as close as they did.
For sure. Neji.
Still a good season from them. But yeah.
Yeah. No, this was a pretty good season for Dead Legend, even if they barely didn't make it. Um, just really
Well done
strong
to
season.
Sharma.
Yes.
Great season.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, take it away, Neji.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough loss for Dad Legend, right? 3 points back. They have the week in their hands. All they have to do is win it. I mean, even potentially a 12-point loss. I don't know if they had the tiebreaker or not over Chaos Theory, but Yeah, it was up to them to get the win. Unfortunately, they were against one of the best teams in Red Conference, so it was going to be a tough ask. And F2L White took it to them, winning most of the matches and getting 2 points in the loss. Yeah, tough way to go out, but definitely a good season. And I'm sure they'll be back next season as they usually are.
Sure. So I'll go directly into the standings. Nails, how did Red Conference end? And I will say, be careful as you say the standings, not to inflate too much a certain player's ego.
Yeah, so we've got Just Win in first place, um, FDL White in second, Miami University of Ohio Hearthstone in third, Chaos Theory in fourth, everyone's a winner in fifth, Dad Legend in sixth, IF2L, that is how it is spelled, and so that's how it's pronounced. Sorry, Pasca, in seventh, and SPG uh, running it, bringing up the rear in eighth. Really close end to the season. Chaos Theory, everyone's a winner, and Dad Legend were neck and neck, and all three lost in the final week. But Chaos Theory managed to get the most points, um, just like over the course of the season, uh, and sneak into the last playoff slot. Uh,
Anyone? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to reiterate that it is very much pronounced IF2L. Um,
Fair.
that's all I got.
Does anyone have any final comments about Red before we hop into Silver Conference? All right. I'll take that as a no. So our final conference that we are going to talk tonight is Silver. Well, final conference for Legacy Series. So our first Silver match, we have All Points Matter facing Hearthstone Academy. And to talk about this match, we have Dardar Banks.
Yes, so I think I've already discussed the type of match like this in the sense that it was stratified based on seeding to kind of determine who won. APM's 1, 2, and 3 seeds delivered the bulk of the points in their eventual win versus HSA. Obviously, Cheese 10 and the Chosen Pie winning against Hockey Boys, Ron Mexico, and the Big Ted by 3-2, 3-1, and 3-1 scorelines, respectively. Meanwhile, Chewbacca and Cherub in the 4-5 getting wins for themselves and ultimately making the score very close with 3-1 and 3-2 wins over Mako and Laughing Frog, respectively. So ends up being really close battle. Um, ends up being seeding determinant, right? As well as kind of playoff qualifying determinant. I think maybe there could have been some differences based on points or something. I'm really not that aware of the series as a pro, I'm going to be honest. But what I do know is that this was an interesting and close match overall, based on what I can tell. So yeah.
Nice. I want to ask Nails here. Anything you want to share about All Points Matter versus Hearthstone Academy that Dardar didn't tell us?
Um, Congrats to both of the teams for clinching playoffs this week. It was like they both needed. They didn't actually need that many points. They needed to not uh, lay an egg in the final week, and they both got what they needed to make it to the postseason. So, good job to both sides for achieving that goal. And neither was. Actually, APM secured first seed in the conference as well. So,
Yeah,
an extra congrats to them for that.
APM did get a bye, which I'm sure it's really appreciated.
Oh, for sure.
Now,
Um,
let's take a look at the other match and our final legacy match for the night that we're going to talk about. We have the Cooler facing Standard THL Degenerates. Neji, tell us what happened there. Why is the Cooler not the 1 seed team in silver?
Yeah. Standard THL Degenerates took a 13-10 over the Cooler. It was close in final points, but the matches themselves don't seem to have been very close. Besides the 1 seed, which Mr. Python won 3-2 over Sabik. Dr. Bomdi won 3-0 over Bremen. And then we had Superhero a 3-0 over Electric Sheep City, Icer 3-1 over Boozosaurus, and Jerry Damage 3-0 over Snipe Hunter. The Cooler, they could have got the first seed if they got a nice win here. Unfortunately, they did get beat by a lower seeded team that didn't even make playoffs. So unfortunate, but well done to Standard THL Degenerates for finishing strong in a season where unfortunately they didn't make playoffs.
Agent PW, anything you want to add about this match?
I'll be honest. I don't really know much about the Cooler, but they look like they did pretty good. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe they'll be able to pull it off in playoffs too. You never know. But it's a close match, and good luck to the teams in playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to ask Dardar here. What does the Silver Conference standings look like after this? So, there was a lot of a fight for who would be one, and we did say APM got one, but it was way closer than most of the other conferences, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The difference between first and third ended up being the same difference as between third and fourth, and both of those ended up being smaller than the difference between fourth and fifth. So pretty tight race at the top,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and one that ended up legitimately coming down to the final day because results easily could have been flipped, right? With like say point differences were different for APM and the Cooler. If you just flip them, then it's probably that sort of difference in the other direction, right?
True.
So yeah, a really tight race at the top. APM finishing one, Zilfs in the two, Cooler in the three, and HSA getting the fourth slot for their conference. But yeah, it felt like the teams were kind of generally known. I guess
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the cult did in their final week, but realistically, maybe there was if HSA got 12 points in the loss, then maybe there was a chance. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
the
there was, maybe
cult
there
went
wasn't.
20 points. They got
Oh,
literally
then they
20 points.
definitely. Well, then the playoff teams were definitely known, and it was more about seeding, and that was a more interesting race, and ended up getting results that were maybe not necessarily the odds-on favorite based on kind of standings before the week, but this is what we got. Then now now we're ready to roll into playoffs.
Nice. So, rolling here into playoffs, four teams do get a bye. So we have Just Win, F12, APM, and Clownstone Academy getting the bye this week. They all get to rest a bit. While Pod People is facing Chaos Theory, the Cooler is facing I don't actually know what the team is from the logo. Can someone help me here?
That's Muo Hearthstone, right?
Okay,
I
that makes
think.
sense. So the Cooler versus Muo Hearthstone, we have Defias versus IDK, and the Hot Zilfs facing Hearthstone Academy. I'll ask the same question I asked you all in Hero. I want to ask what team wins Legacy? And I'll start by Nails here since he is unbiased for this one. Who wins Legacy, Nails?
No shot. I'm unbiased. The clowns are winning in Legacy.
Nice. Clownstone Academy winning Legacy. Neji, do you agree?
I would have picked Just Win based on their name, but unfortunately they lied and they tied 2 weeks, so they didn't just win. So in that case, I'll go with Clownstone.
Nice. Um, Agent PWE, any thoughts on who wins Legacy?
You know what? I'm gonna put my faith in the cooler, even though I just said I have no idea who any of them are. Um,
Nice,
I believe in them.
nice. And Dardar, any thoughts on who wins Legacy?
Yeah, I actually did a little bit more prep for this one because, like I said, this stuff I don't know as much about sort of the earlier stuff, so I tried to kind of concentrate my efforts here. And I actually put together some entire statistics, and I cobbled it all together, and I called it. I tried to make like a fair kind of rating index for all the teams, right? And since it's the spirit of fairness, I called it the just index. And you can obviously interpret that as the just index. And I've noticed that one of the teams here has 5 Justins, and that puts them highest on the just index. So I think they're gonna win. I'll go for Team Just Win.
Fair. They did, but
Phenomenal insight.
they had such a crazy performance this season. I would not be surprised. Now, moving into Legacy PPR, let's start with the honorable mentions. Nails, who made Legacy top 15?
So at 15th, we've got Coles going 6-3. Pokemon 661 went 7-2. Slad went 6-3. Dragon Ninja went 4-0, and JR Juggerlaw went 7-2. Then for the top 10, 10th we have Sebiek went 6-3 with a 23-18 record. Basting went 7-2 with a 23-12 record. Starlax went 7-1 with a 21-12 record. Chronic went 7-2 with a 24-13 record. Nebcanuck went 8-1 with a 24-9 record. Desharma went 8-1 with a 25-11 record. Shu went 7-2 with a 24-11 record. Rebob went 8-1 with a 25-13 record. Diamond went 8-1 with a 25-12 record, and the leader in PPR by a massive margin that does not really make sense given his similar record of 8-1, but like a PPR of 3 point or like 2.3, 2.4 points higher, something like that, uh, than anyone else. Skirt Reynolds lapping the field with an 8-1 record, set record, and 26-12 game record.
So many names performed so well. It's nice to see. I really like to see some THL household names just performing amazingly and keeping it going after so many seasons around. Names like The Chronic, like Based, Desharmo. It's always really cool.
Yeah, so congratulations to everyone mentioned for the great season.
Yeah. Anyone has any final thoughts about Legacy? All right. I'm going to bring us back to the screen, the home screen, where we have a very quick ad break, and we have the much awaited read by Neji Boston of our commercial.
I got you. All right. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, you can sub to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Ka-chow. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. Our website, teamarthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Hearth League. Check out the THL POW podcast for power rankings for all series, wherever you find your podcasts. The True Hearth legend himself, Saku, continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to catch everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth League, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fanatics out there, there are THL shows every single most days of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some amazing Hearthstone related content. Now, back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Nice. That was great. I think you did great, Neji.
Thank you.
Good job.
So we still have one more conference to cover, and I'm sure everyone's excited about that one because, well, I know Dardar knows a lot more about that one from what he said. So we're going to hop straight into it. Our first pro match that we're going to talk about tonight is Everyone's a Winner versus Faction. The match that made Everyone's a Winner actually get into playoffs. Surprising a lot of expectations the teams that got in Black Conference, but Nails, take us away.
Sure. So for Black Conference, oh sorry, yeah, they are in Black Conference. Yeah, we had Everyone's a Winner versus Faction. Memnarch took a 3-1 win over Brian O'Brien. Yespin took a 3-1 win over Fogey 8. Solo Jazz took a 3-2 win over Bandit Keith. Mighty took a 3-2 win over Corridon, and Karate Dom took a 3-0 win over Flying Kraken. So congrats to Everyone's a Winner for almost everyone winning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matchup with looks to have been a lot of playoff implications, at least for Everyone's a Winner. And yeah, they clutched it out and secured their third seed in the Black Conference.
Sure. So Dardar, anything you want to add about this match?
Not too much. Pretty comprehensive victory though. 21 points. Like, maximum unless it's a 5-0. Two strong performances in the 1 and 2 seed from Memnarch and Yespin. Yeah, not much else. Should be a fun playoff match between themselves and whoever they're up against.
They're up against Brushy Tuna.
Should be a fun match.
Sure. Any final thoughts on Everyone's a Winner versus Faction before we go into our second match in Black Conference? All right. So our second match is actually Taggers facing APM. APM was a team that everyone was pretty sure they were making playoffs, and they fell short barely. So I want to ask Neji, what happened to Avenging Prophet Murabi facing Taggers?
Yeah, Tigers came into the week needing all 5 players to win their match, and Avenging Prophet Murabi came in needing 1 player to win their match, and it just so happened the Tigers won all the matches and pushed their way into playoffs, which is really insane. Unfortunate for APM. We had Battle Tagger, a 3-2 over ABC. Seth with a 3-1 over Reverb. Rice Bowl 3-1 over Sabretooth. Otters 3-2 over Magnificent. And Lasagna 3-2 over Chewy. Yeah, that is a nutty win for them. And we'll see how they can do in playoffs. And unfortunate for Bone Masher, this has now happened 2 seasons in a row where his team needed 1
Yes.
win to make playoffs. And unfortunately, they did not get the win. We do have some words from Bone Masher. I don't know what I ever did to this one, but maybe next season the curse will be lifted. 0-5 in the final round to miss playoffs when one win was enough. 2 seasons running, going to need some time to process one. That is very reasonable. Hopefully next season, Bone Masher will be back and we can see them in the playoffs.
That was great review of a match right there. So before we move out of this match, um, I want to ask Agent PWE, any thoughts about Taggers versus Avenging Prophet Murabi that hasn't been shared yet?
Uh, Pretty impressive that Taggers makes it in. They're all wild players pretty much, so playing standard. I guess we're supposed to tread lightly now, right? That's what they say. So
Clearly did not tread lightly enough.
clearly not. That was Bone Masher's mistake. Yeah, for sure.
True. Let's take a look at what are the final standings for Black Conference. Neji, what happened in our final standings here?
We have Clowns Reloaded at the top of Black Conference with 146 points. F2L 138. Everyone's a winner 131. And like we said earlier, Taggers with the 5-win week to finish with 121, which is 3 points ahead of APM in 5th place. I'd say 3 of these teams were pretty much locked going into the week. Well, maybe not everyone's a winner, depending on some math. I'm not sure on that one. But yeah, Taggers with the massive win. I think they're gonna have a interesting time because Pink Conference is pretty stacked. So we'll see how they do against the 1 seed coming out of Pink Conference. But yeah, there you go.
For sure. Any final thoughts on Black Conference before we hop right into Pink Conference?
Exciting end of the season, the regular season, with the Tigers versus APM. I guess one would think that this wouldn't happen too often, but I guess we have seen this exactly last season, this play out. But yeah,
Yeah.
really not. It's high drama for sure. It's not something where like the yeah, it's really exciting to see.
Sure.
Congrats, Tigers.
Now let's hop into the Pink Conference to see what's happening on the other side since Black was so competitive at the end. What actually happened at Pink this week? And to talk about our first match, we have Dardar.
Yeah, so what ended up occurring in this first match between For the Boys and Brushy Tuna was kind of similar to between Taggers and APM, except with slightly smaller sort of implication, in the sense that a large enough win would mean that For the Boys would end up being the 1 seed. So on Thursday night, right? This was a Thursday submission, I think this last week.
Yes.
The team asked themselves in our team chat, what would Lightning McQueen do? And naturally, the response was submit McBanterface's MT lineup, which Dabs, German Shep, and I did. And so we went out there, and Dabs won, and Jake and I swept, and then Super Chicken swept, and Shep called that he would lose 2-3 in his match to you, Lotus, and sure enough, that occurred, and that was just enough points before the boys to end up being the 1 seed. Conveniently, Shep losing and everyone else winning aligns us all together in being sort of a sequential sort of set of records at 7-1,
Nice.
6-2, 5-3, 4-4, and 3-5. So it's a little bit of team bonding as well. Definitely a Kachow sort of week.
Nice. That is definitely true. I wanted to make sure I did my role at least to make everything set in order, you know?
Absolutely, and it's a team effort for sure.
Yeah. Well, if Shep is going to make me take 2 hours to play my match, then at least I'm going to take the win. I am joking, but He was actually pretty fast
You're
this
also not
match compared
joking.
to normal. We only took an hour.
Yeah, did Banter bring
Didn't
aggro
Shep
to the
bring
MT or something?
4 aggro decks?
He brought 4 aggro
Well,
decks.
Well, that was Banterface's MP lineup.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why it only took an
Bing
hour. Makes
bong.
sense.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, the last time we played, we took more than 2 hours to play our match.
You sure
But
did.
yeah, that can happen. Still better than the time where I played Control Warrior in Strike not Strike. What's the name of that format? Specialist. Oh, that was awful. So, to tell us more about this match, I want to ask if Dales has anything he wants to add about For the Boys facing Brushing Tuna.
I mean, you gotta love the lore of submitting Banter's lineup. Notably, while Banter does not submit his MT lineup,
True, Hat did
uh,
submit his MT lineup.
but yeah, both teams obviously already secured for the playoffs. So, and there are no buys in Pro Series. So, just I guess just a little bit of excitement at the end of the season.
For sure.
The four boys clinching the first seed is a nice achievement. And so now they get to tread lightly next week.
That is true. Well, both of these teams are facing the Wild teams, as we will see very soon.
But yeah, congrats to both of these teams for strong seasons. Each one only losing once.
Yeah. Now, let's move into our second match that we're going to talk about for Pink Conference, our final match of the night. Agent PWE is going to tell us about No Pros Here match against Love, Not Warcraft, which was another tight, very tight match that made the playoffs way closer than anyone expected.
All right, so this is similar to the last one I went over, where if you look at the point totals, we're one apart, and if you look at the standings, there's a fourth and a fifth. So NPH at some point, I don't remember, needed like one win after like losing the first or splitting 1-1, and then NPH lost 2, and then okay, actually it wasn't that simple, but basically I needed to sweep my last match in order for us to beat the other team, and then unfortunately I think my opponent got time zone diffed because they did not show up, and they did kind of play the MT all weekend and did kind of live in the UK, and so they might have been asleep when we were supposed to play, which was a Sunday, which was a problem,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that can
So
happen.
an unfortunate end, but I definitely would have swept them anyways, so it didn't really matter.
I mean, you had a better record than Pocket heading into this week. I think Pro Series record up to that point in the season is the most effective way to determine player skill in Hearthstone. So, yeah, like at the very least, you would have been favorable heading into Pocket Train.
For sure, I think pro record, and then a close second is hero record for.
No, I think
determining player
legacy record
skill.
actually is next.
No, legacy record. I think legacy record's like an inverse thing. I think the worse
Mm.
you do, the better you are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Fair.
Ladder score is pretty
That's why
irrelevant,
F2 All
right?
Black made playoffs and Golden Showers did.
Correct, because we're good and F2L is bad.
Neji, anything you want to add about MPH versus Make Love Not Warcraft?
Yeah, unfortunate ending to the season for Make Love Not Warcraft. They were close, but Pee-wee just diffed on them, and unfortunately, MPH is moving on, and that's who my team's going to play next week. So
Crazy
we'll
that they
just
couldn't find an emergency sub capable of winning a single game to get them into playoffs.
It's an unfortunate situation. Yes.
Nice. So let's take a look at what the standings for Pink ended up like. BW, tell us what happened in Pink in the end? Oh, you might be
You're
on
muted
mute.
again, Pee-wee.
Okay. Okay. Pink. Unlike black, pink actually had good teams in it. So at the front is For the Boys and at 134, and then Brushy Tuna at 132, and then Popeyes at 125 in third, and then the close fourth place race with NPH at 115, Warcraft at 114, and Swagaway at 113. Oh, actually, and EU over NA at 112. So it was actually a four-person race. And then the Posers at 104, or Prosers, my bad. The Prosers at 104, and then Poimlock sitting at the bottom. But the the competitive, no fault to them since they're in the the actually competitive pink conference. So looking forward to all of pink making it out of the first round of playoffs, similar to how I think last season went. So
Yeah, we did have Black Conference entirely dominating last season. So,
yep,
um,
pink conference this season for sure.
nice.
My conference is stacked top to bottom. I don't know what the issue is.
Now let's
Black
take a
is
Exactly.
stack.
definitely true last time. So let's hop into to take a look at the matches that are happening this week. So we have Clowns Reloaded facing NPH, represented here by Neji versus Agent PWE. I don't know if that match happens or not. I don't actually think so, but it could.
Would
Um,
require Neji to be in the 1 seed, so it's not happening, unfortunately.
We
There
have the
isn't
same
no
rank.
shot. Neji is a one seed.
I do not care.
It's not my fault your team ended.
um, we have a Brushy Tuna facing Everyone's a Winner, represented here by myself. Oh, and Clowns is also represented by Nails, which I forgot.
Hello.
Because everyone's in that team apparently. We
We
have
have just as many players as every other team.
we have Taggers facing For the Boys, and represented here by Dardar. And finally, F2L versus Popeye's Spicy Chicken, who did not send a representative tonight. So, what I want to ask you all is the great question of which team is going to win Pro Series, and why is it a team from Pink Conference? So, I'm going to start with Dardar. Which team wins Pro, and why is it a team for Pink?
Hmm. Yeah, my vote's gonna go for. Let me think about this. You can't like. Okay, never mind. All I know is it's not us because we just spent like all of our good luck at the MT, and we're all out of it.
Sure.
So let's vote for chicken sandwich. Let's go chicken sandwich. Um, but yeah, no, it's kind of doomed for us. The four of us did well at the MT, and then there's me. But unfortunately, I can't win hard enough for us to win. Also, I'm not gonna win, so it doesn't matter. I'll vote for Popeye spicy chicken sandwich to go for the reverse curse, but still pick pink.
Nice. Um, one
Name
vote.
one player on name one player on Popeye's Justin, right?
True. Justin is on
You,
Popeyes.
you can't give me a freebie like that. Random chatter named in PWE.
Um, Agent PWE. Any team you call for winning pro playoffs?
Well, pink is gonna win, and we're not gonna lose. So that means MPH is gonna win. Just ignore like the records, like how we match up into the team we're facing this week, because those don't matter. Even though I said they mattered like 5 minutes ago, they don't. We'll win.
I hadn't
Um,
thought about it like that.
You can't time diff us though, unlike
Nails, and who is your call for the team that's going to win Pro Series?
I'm going to pick a team that's clearly on fire. They are in form. They had a very strong week last week. I am going to go with the Tigers. I think that they've been training in the Hearthstone's equivalent of the Mountains, which is the Wild Series, and they are going to take it to us. Uh, Black Conference has been performing well all season, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Um, and for our final player here, Neji, who's going to win Pro Series?
Yeah, so a Popeyes actually opened up really close to me, and last night I had a spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes, and I ate it up just like F2L is gonna eat them up and the bracket, so F2L. Yep.
Okay. Some interesting calls here. I think this is going to be a very spicy final weeks of Pro. So I hope you're excited to see some of these matches. Every single playoff for the last 2 times, Brushy Tuna has faced Popeyes, so it's kind of weird to be in the other side of the bracket. I hope we face them in the finals, but that's just my call.
Is that because you think that would be the easiest opponent from the other side of the bracket to face?
Oh
Because
no,
that's
it's
kind of shocking.
literally we had them twice, and the first time they kicked us out, the second time we beat them in the first match of playoffs. So it kind of feels like we should face them. Plus, if I get to play against Justin, it will all be worth it. That would be fun.
I got it. Okay. Okay. Sounds
Um,
good.
Unfortunately, Black Conference swept the playoffs last season, and I don't see that changing. So, might be
okay,
difficult to meet them in the finals.
fair. We're going to have to see what happens there. But we still have one more pro thing to do. We have to go over PPR. This is not Marty's algorithm, so if you want to complain to Donde. And Dardar, what are the players that actually made Pro Series player power rankings?
Yes. So we have our 5 honorable mentions of Lambie at 5-3, 19-14, Nails at 6-2, 20-14, Dabs with a mirrored record, Neji at 6-2, 20-10, but that's probably just a mistype. It shouldn't be on here. Justin 6-2 at 21-16, and then we get into the top 10. Starting at number 10, ABC 5-3, 21-15. Kobe went 6-2, 20-11. POE he probably actually should be there. It's fine. He was in the good conference, right? 6-2, 22-12. Banter went 6-2, but 18-8. Pretty nice game score. Except for the fact that implies he got swept twice. Don't worry about that. Jimmy, the god substitute, 18-6 and 6-0 overall record. And then we head into our top five. Memnarch and Justman repping their team, right? I believe at 22-12, 7-1 mirroring records. Pescoa 7-1, 23-8, nice game score. And then somehow Glee is 2 and Chicken is 1. I'm not going to ask how or complain about it, but Glee is 2 at 8-0, 24-9. And Super Chicken 7-1, 23-9, but number 1 overall.
Right? Um, these are the numbers the algorithm put out. This doesn't mean that these are the players that are getting All Star, or these are the players that are going to gain the Pro Awards. Those are going to be announced whenever they're announced. I do not know. Don't it doesn't let us know the schedule in advance or pay us enough. But that's a special content problem for all. Anyone wants to say anything about player power rankings?
Is this rigged, says Glee? I hard agree. Don't you worry. That was bars. I didn't even mean to rhyme that. Yeah, it's just the way
You
it is.
just
Oh,
own it.
welcome to rankings in THL. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot me, please.
I do agree that this one is a bit weird, but it is not my algorithm. What can I say? This doesn't mean it is the best player though, because there will be the final result of best player MVP for pro is going to be revealed on the award show. So this doesn't guarantee that Chicken is the MVP, or the 8-0 record doesn't guarantee that Glee is the MVP. That comes down to the final rankings, whatever those are. That brings us back to our main screen, where we have one more thing before checkout. There's the watch for player making crossover. And we had a great duel between Rabobson and Diamond. Does anyone want to catch up to how that ended?
I can take it if no one else wants it.
Go for it.
So, um, heading in on the final day, I know that Rebob and Diamond each had one match left to play. I was playing against Rebob in, I think we played in Hero. Um, and Diamond was also playing in Hero. Rebob had like a 1% lead in whatever the rigged formula is for aggregated match 1% or weighted match 1% or whatever it is. It's super rigged, but anyways, Rebob was up like 1%. And then I beat Rebob in our series, but Diamond lost like about 30 minutes to an hour after that. Rebob still was ahead before Diamond's match was played, but Diamond probably would have jumped him
Mm-hmm.
given one more match win. And so Rebob managed to clinch it thanks to uh, a season of utter dominance, going 24 or 21-4 against players that are not named Nails. And then I beat him twice, but don't worry about it. He's cracked.
Well, congratulations, Rebob. And congratulations, Diamond, as well, because number 2 in crossover is not a tiny feat at all.
Yeah. Really great season, honestly. Not that it's over, but great regular season. Um,
I believe non-regular season doesn't count for crossover or most metrics because not all players get to play them.
Twitch chat has some sentiment that Nail should be the crossover champion. I actually finished sixth in the rankings, but that's eighth. Uh, uh, but I appreciate my fans. Thank you for the support. Uh,
Awesome. So I want to take this time to thank our viewers and everyone here with me. I want to very special thanks for Neji, Agent PWE, Nails, and Dardar for joining me tonight. We are coming to the close with our checkout question. So, as I thank you for being here, the question for the night is, do we need nerfs? I mean, the meta is fairly balanced right now. You can play basically everything, as long as it's aggro or Kazakhstan most of the time, or control if you want to counter aggro. But the big question is, do we need nerfs? Is there a change that needs to happen right now? And if yes, to what? So I'm going to start by thanking Nails for being here. Always great having you, Nails. My question for you tonight is, do we need nerfs? And if yes, to what?
um, so I think that Kazakhstan is absolutely cracked. Um, I'm not sure it needs to be nerfed. Something about the Druid deck probably does need to be nerfed, but there aren't like aside from the Kazakhstan Druid deck, some other decks that might need to have to be looked at are Burn Shaman and Glide specifically is a pretty toxic card in a lot of matchups, and so aside from those cards, there's nothing that I think is much of a power outlier. Kazakhstan probably should have a couple of the treasures hit though.
Sure. Thank you one more time, Nails, for joining us tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Um, I want to give a very special thanks to Agent PWE for coming here all the way from NPH land to just do a great job telling us about matches, giving us some fun insights into what is happening in NPH and other teams across all series. So I want to ask you, Agent PWE, do we need nerfs?
Yeah. Thank you for comment or praising my ability to read off a script. I am very proud of that I'm literate, so that's nice to hear. Um, Nerfs, definitely the Legionnaire. I think the stat line, the 9-3 stat line, is way too forced, and it really could be toned down to be an 8-3, and I think that might bring it in line with the power level of the set, especially after rotation. You got to be looking ahead. That card is just too turbo, and I think knock its attack down by one might change the clocks in every matchup and really make the meta a lot healthier.
Okay. Um, Thank you one more time, PWE, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Um, Next, I want to give a very special thanks to Dardar Banks for joining us tonight. Dardar, great having you in Hearthcenter. You're well, all of you are always welcome here whenever you'd like. My question for you tonight is: do we need nerfs right now, or is everything okay?
Yeah, well, first, thank you for welcoming me on. I've had a fun time. I think this is my first time on sort of like the uh I guess short form when you relatively compare it to a set review or a card review content. I don't know. Well, the nightly, regularly scheduled content, we'll call it that. Thanks for welcoming me on. That's the point. Um, I'll vote for my favorite card as one that needs to get nerfed. I think Bunker Sergeant is a little bit too oppressive at a 2/4. I think moving it down to a 2/3 stat line or like making it a 4 mana 3/4 because I think its effect is just a little bit too powerful for what it does.
Sure,
Something like that might be good. I yeah. Oh, actually, Raid the Docks is a little bit too powerful as well. I think we should make it go 4 pirates for part one. Other than that, I'd say we're pretty okay.
sounds like someone is playing Wild recently.
No. I've just been stuck in 7x multiplier land for sure.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's why.
And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Neji Boston for being here tonight. Always great having you, Neji. I hope you had a lot of fun as usual. My question for you is: do we need nerfs right now? And if so, to what?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a good time to be on the show. Definitely had a great crew tonight. Um, as far as nerfs go, definitely shoulder check is a little bit too oppressive right now. 1 mana, give a minion +2/+1 and rush is kind of crazy. And then you throw the tradable keyword on that too. I really think we need to put this card up to 2 mana and maybe even take off the rush part of this as well. I think that'll slow down the meta a little bit
Sure,
and make room for all the Kazakus decks to see play.
sure. Well, one more time, I want to thank everyone who was here tonight. I want to thank Neji Boston, Agent PWE, Nails, and Dardar for their great insights on so many amazing matches. Um, I want to give a special thanks to all our viewers um, for just watching the show. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun here. Always great having all of you. I want to also advertise some shows. We do have Tavern Talk tomorrow going over the playoffs, and you're going to see what they say about what's going on in the playoffs. I'm sure there's a lot that Fish and crew are going to talk about, so check them out over there. There are match shows happening on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you can check them out right, um, basically at any point there. And you can post if you would like to play on stream. We would love to have more playoff matches. You can just post on the stream match request channel in the THL Discord. More than happy to arrange for matches to be on stream. It seems like we still have a lot of schedules, so post there. We would love to have your match, whoever you are that are viewing or watching me for some reason. And that being said, I think that is it for us tonight. Have a good night, everyone, and ka y'all later.
A 1, 2,